Madam Speaker, the President of the United States.
Multiple continents.
You guys know what this represents?
All the people that have gone out there against the mainstream media and said, you're going to call us racist, you're going to call us potential Timothy McVeighs. You are.
Hello and welcome to the Patriot Party News. Extremely happy to have everyone, and I hope everyone had a great weekend. I hope that your 4th was great and you were able to spend time with family, and I hope you were able to see some things that Trump had to say and all the festivities, and knowing that some people that might be in a coalition, are still there, doing some major work, because there's no doubt that There is a secret war being waged by a military aligned alliance, and has been for a good bit, against a corrupt global cabal. And a lot of it has to do with the 2016 and 2020 elections. From the elections to geopolitical tensions to crazy events that you never could think could ever happen in your lifetime that just happened right in front of us. So, if anyone has been seeing these things and you're like, oh my goodness, this is getting a little crazy. Well, okay, probably people that watch this show are probably like, just bring it. In fact, I know that's what's going on. But at the same time, if anyone is out there and they're, seeing, let's say, a notable increase in emotional symptoms, you can attribute that to somebody might say it's some kind of phenomenon. Some might say it's a convergence of metaphysical and geopolitical events happening that are driving people crazy. But just know there are crazy things happening. And hey, if you're feeling that way, like more emotional, you're not alone. And I would say check out the Schumann resonance. Know that there's been some really crazy things go on, like the shutting down of CERN. All of these things, are happening, and we're watching those things happen. We're watching some pretty crazy things happen as a group. So I've always said, hey, if you ever need a break, chill out. Chill out. If you got that ringing in your ear, if you got that, I'm a little too emotional today, I'm too aggravated, I'm mad at people that I'm not usually mad at. Just please know that that happens. And some people might say that all of that is Schumann resonance. Some people might say that it's ascension. They might say it's your ascension is being more Christ-like. But just know that if some people will describe it as a physical feeling also of maybe the body being a little fiery, maybe, I don't know, some extra energy, some not enough energy, some might blame it on the freaking heat that we've had. But whatever it is, there is people experiencing different frequencies and a different resonance. And I believe it comes from the earth. And it can cause unusual physical and emotional symptoms. Some people refer to your pineal gland and say that it's almost like has a vibrating to it. Some people say that they have ringing in their ears. Some people, say they get headaches or just more emotional. If that happens and you feel that, stop. It might not be everybody around you. It might be you having some little issues, and that's okay, because a lot of people are going through, especially with all the things we're going through. So I would suggest, like, being barefoot out in your yard or in somebody's freaking yard that's got a big tree. Grounding. I'd say stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. Drink the right water. Take care of yourself. If a woman could get her could be barefoot in some running water, that would be ideal. That would be a great thing. If a guy could stand next to a big tree and touch it barefooted, that would be a really good thing. I'm not saying that's going to just get rid of it, but do know that you're experiencing, if that's happening to you, you're experiencing things that other people are experiencing, and it's okay. You know, these energy shifts, you know, a lot of information's coming through, a lot of new information, a lot of things are weighing on people's minds. When is this going to happen? How am I going to pay for food? How am I going to pay rent? How am I going to pay for my house note? You know, so for a long time, the resonance was like 7.8 or something. Maybe that's until like 1987 when it began to rise, and a shift was attributed to like a collective increase in consciousness, the ascension process. So we're going through this together. It's a massive local release of energy. Chill out. It's okay. Let it all go by. A little self-hypnosis wouldn't be bad. A little freaking, you know, just chilling out every once in a while if you got to take a break. But know that if you're feeling that, a lot of people are. I just had Juan and Matt on the On Tap show, and somebody had mentioned just a few minutes ago in talk time that, man, it just really seemed like it was pretty cool, because it seemed like y'all were just sitting around talking like, you know, old buddies, or you know, sitting on a couch, you know, just chilling, you know, just hanging out, you know. And just so everybody knows, that's what Juan is like. He's just chill, giving information, you know. So you got to see, if you saw that, then that's exactly how he's been when I've been around him. Now in Virginia, I was probably one of the last ones to leave that wasn't staying the night. And me and Juan and Matt and Mark, we sat there for an hour and a half and just shot the bull, you know, and talked about things that are going on. And it was kind of like, oh, whoo, because it was hectic for them, not for me. Getting everything going and things going on. But during that time, information was coming in from different people. And it was 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. Those phones were still going nuts, you know? And it was like, wow, their phone is as crazier than mine is. And it just went to show me that a lot of people are out there working hard on what's going on. I mean, working hard, getting information out. Earlier, Juan started off the program with, you know, how Trump never conceded the 2020 election. He's been acting as commander-in-chief since, I think he signed the deal on March 13th, 2020. And then I believe the Cheyenne Mountain NORAD actions happened on the 15th. There is a big group that, before we started talking about it, a lot of people didn't know. Before Juan started talking about it, before we started talking about it here, a lot of people didn't understand the SES, the Senior Executive Service. And, you know, they kind of gained got into the ball game on purpose. They made that on purpose, not elected, put in there during the Cold War, during arrangements that were happening. You know, they were in there having to do different things for spies and for do different laws and things. And that was kind of slipped in there. And for a long time, they've been wreaking havoc. And that's who we had talked about, that Trump got rid of between 6,000 and 9,000 of them an hour after he was inaugurated. They're the ones that we believe have been given major orders to everybody. You know, a whole lot of Kissingers, you know, are being, not a whole lot, but the ones at the top, a whole lot of Kissingers, you know, working for the city of London, you know, with a seat at the Club of Rome. You know, these people have seats at all of those sects of the Committee of 300, you know, the 13 families. During all of this, the notion, we've always known that 2016, you know, was crazy, you know, but 2020 is the real nastiness. That's when that really went berserk. And it was an international attack, you know, by a foreign entity, China, through Venezuela, through Cuba, through Serbia. We know all this, but I'm saying this because it's fixing to come to fruition, that all of this is so true and that you're on the right track, and vindication, you know, is going to happen in the very near future. So I want to make sure that everybody's kind of on the right page, because there's fixing to be, well, the purge has started. All right. The purge has started. It is, I mean, a purge has been happening. That's what's been happening. You know, we hadn't had an all-out war with any of these places. It's been a purge, taking out the leaders of their country, the cabal in each one of them's country, just like in ours. Because of this, I've been saying we're going to have a pause. Pause. We might be going through a pause right now to celebrate that we are starting the Jubilee. And it's going to be a year-long Jubilee that, I don't know when things are going to come out, but we've heard about everything that's come out for a long time. Taxes, raises, he's been talking about it, you know, taking the gas tax off, you know. I don't know if y'all know that, but they have sent it up the hill to remove the gas tax, you know. So Bessent talked about that the other day. There's so many of those things, and they are happening as we're speaking. They're covered up, they're in the background, but we're getting little tastes of it. Or maybe other people are getting little tastes of it. We've been having tastes of it. I feel very comfortable with the information I've given out. I'm just going to chill with that. But there's going to be a full stop of everything, an emergency pause to reset the entire election system, the EBS. And that is going to throw people for a loop. I'm hearing that the election could happen 6 months, 120 days, a year and a half after when it's supposed to happen. This is not going to just be over. Even though we know a lot of things are going on, everybody doesn't. So That's what's happening. A purge, a full stop, a full reckoning of some really nasty people that have been doing some really nasty things. Barry MC, EBS, how, when, done by who, and how long? I don't know. October, shutting everybody down for a week or two. Yes, EBS. Done by who and how long? Done by Trump. Couple weeks. Be my guess. So he said, EBS, question mark. Yes. How? Shutting down the government because with a national emergency, an executive order hooked onto that. When? I guess October. Somewhere in there. A month before, a month after, 2 months after. I don't know exactly. Done by who? It's of course done by Trump. And how long? As long as it takes. Best I can do on that. Grade me. We'll figure it out. You know, we might be close, and we might be off a little bit, but I think we're comfortable. We are trying to. We're going to see. We're going to see all the things that we think are on the table. Maybe not in our country, but in a bunch of different countries. In my opinion, whether it be Sharia law, whether it be freaking communist in New York, you know, the Goofy, whatever his freaking name is. Oath Keeper Bill calls him something. I can't, Man Dummy or something, Man Goofy. I don't know, whatever. But we're trying to maximize public opinion. And whenever, like if I say I want it to happen or I think it's going to happen in October, it'll probably happen a little bit after because it's going to go to the last minute. And it's going to be the perfect minute, in my opinion. It's going to be exactly when it needs to happen. I think they've got it gamed out and planned out. But at the last moment, when people are going to their knees, praying to the Lord, saying, oh, we're in trouble. This didn't work. Oh my goodness. A mess. Oh Lord. And that's what I think is going to happen. And we'll be sitting over here chilling. I hope that our group is okay and we are going to be in there for the long haul. And, you know, the plan is the Lord's plan, in my opinion. I'm chill with it. I see it happening. We're working with people that are in the background doing things. So yeah, feel very, very good. We're going to maximize public opinion. We're going to get the word out, and we're going to be ready, hopefully, to give the information, to comfort, to, you know, hug on them, you know, while an EBS happens. Kind of EBS happens. Remember what happens after that? Boom. Arrests right out in the open. Treason. Freaking staged freaking craziness right out in the open. Trump saying, making sure everybody understands loud and clear that he was 45, 46, and 47. And what does that mean? That means continuity of government. That means that they interfered. And that's all. That's it. It ain't Biden, just like we thought, was nothing. He didn't have nothing to do with nothing. He didn't know what to do, didn't know who he was, still doesn't know who he was. And we were right. Now, a lot of people are going to question that, and that's okay. People got different opinions, I'm not questioning at all. Not 1 ounce. I feel comfortable. What I don't like is the demonizing of people that are out there fighting hard. That's what I don't like, Don't like none of it. But I think that everybody should ask questions of their government forever. Now, right now, when you ask questions, we have an operation going on. So if you ask questions, everything's mixed up. Everything's crazy. There's things going on behind the scenes that it just doesn't look right. It's supposed to not look right. It's a freaking military operation. So if you're thinking, oh gosh, it's all messed up, it's a mess. Yes, it's supposed to be a mess. You're supposed to be thinking, Lord have mercy. Well, maybe we're not, but if we've been in it for a long time, hopefully we've learned and watched and trust ourselves that the things we're seeing that don't make any sense, that with Q and Trump posting Q post, you gotta, you finally gotta get it, It just is about trusting yourself. When you say, now, this is about too stupid, all this stuff is too stupid to be true, then maybe it's freaking is, maybe there's an operation going on. So, but there's going to be some people that don't get it and some people that do, and it just, heck with it. It is what it is, It just is what it is. Now, when you talk about John Solomon is the one that, came out and said, okay, they've said it. It's out now, because he came out and said that the U.S. intelligence community concluded a China breach. That China breached American voter registration databases prior to the 2020 election. But this finding was deliberately suppressed from public knowledge. The evidence cited that he was speaking of was from a single declassified, I guess, sentence is what he said, in April 2020 at the National Intelligence Council. It was a National Intelligence Council memo. And it was where it states China assessed this data to analyze public opinion. The uncovering of a multi-year cover-up contrasting with the public census that there were no significant foreign interference in the election. All that was a lie, and they did it on purpose, a cover-up, and our government was working right with them, with China doing it. Hence, you're going to see how, what's her name? Mitch McConnell's wife, something happened to Mitch McConnell and she headed to China. Why would she head over to China? Because that's where her home cooking is. She's on that team, probably. Wouldn't you say? Doesn't that look a little weird? Yeah, it is weird. Now, also, Crossfire Hurricane is being talked about. So, John Solomon brought that out also. So, when you talk about Crossfire Hurricane, who were the big let's say two of the big players in Crossfire Hurricane, John Solomon, Matt Meck, probably the two biggest, who briefed the right people. That's what happened. The FBI, under Kash Patel's direction, delivered 700 pages of unredacted, declassified Crossfire Hurricane documents to Congress, which then reached just the news. The centerpiece assertion, longtime FBI confidential source Stephen Halper allegedly paid roughly $1.2 million over 3 decades, providing an implausible account about Mike Flynn in 2014 that the FBI itself deemed unreliable. Yet Halper reportedly remained steadfast and used that as much as he could against Trump, campaign figures, Papadopoulos, Page, all them during Crossfire Hurricane. All that was done on purpose, set up, and all that stuff. By the way, I'm going to be in a meeting at about 8:45 that I was just asked to be in, so I might stop a little early. Just want everybody to know. Pretty cool meeting too. All of this stuff that's going on, the military, they're being proactive. Military actions are described not as reactive anymore, but as a, let's say, global operation that is on the offense, removing threats as we speak. Now, I've told a lot of people that, yes, we have private security. We have tier 1 operators. We have intelligence running for the hills and intelligence working, bringing the truth. This is going to be a military restructuring. This is going to be a Pentagon restructuring. This is going to be a political restructuring. They're going to tear this thing down and build it back up. Are they going to tear it down to nothing? Well, I believe you're going to see instances where just all of a sudden entire departments are just, oh, where'd they go? Well, they're gone. Bye. See you later. Yeah. Banking, restructuring, everything. Yeah. Controlled demolition in certain cases. And then controlled chaos in some cases, probably. But this ongoing purge is about military. It's about intelligence. It's about the SES. It's about the Pentagon. It's about linked entities. It's about rescue missions. It's about contractor operations out of Constellus, which used to be BlackRock, and a few more. People are being called up. They are active in many different regions, if you ask me, with detainees. I believe that now or in the very near future will be sent to Gitmo, Guam, Diego Garcia, and different places like that. Pulte, in my opinion, has the go-ahead to declassify anything. It reminds me of when Trump Jr. said, declassify everything. That's what they're doing right now. The Supreme Court is going to be purged. They're going to do seizures. They're going to do a seizure on the global media, probably using the EBS, because what does that do? That takes over the airwaves. Total disclosure of crimes. Takedown of IRS, takedown of the Federal Reserve. that's part of the Jubilee, if you ask me. A raise for everyone in some way, form, or fashion. I want that fringe off that flag. I want it to be up there clear to everyone that this is not a corporate structure anymore that will represent reclaiming our country and our states, with us taking back our counties. So some things are going to happen in the near future that's going to allow common law, God's law, sovereignty, and we've got to be there ready to take it. So for anybody that wants it to speed up, my suggestion would be involved as much as you can in your county. That's our job. Digital soldiers, being involved with your county. Know your sheriff. Sheriff's going to have a lot to do with things. I think it'd be a good idea. Military action against Iran is doing as it's supposed to. Of course, we know, we can tell Israel has had a lot of the heavy load, taking out the genocide, stopping the genocide that has happened to 40 to 50,000 Christians in Iran just over the last little bit, the last few years. That had to be stopped. You wonder, when's Israel? Well, when your enemy fights your enemy and takes out people, we're in a position. We got to use everything we can, but there might be some things that have been taken care of already, and we're watching things. Put it this way. If you say that the military of the United States was going to be mixed in with the military of Israel, who would run that military with the action that's happening? Trump. Our military. Why? Because there's enough nasty ones in Israel that they're not going to have anybody to run it anymore. That's why. I don't know. Silver's going to do good. I'm going to keep. You do what you want to. I'm not a freaking financial advisor. I'm going to keep buying silver. I'm going to stay with the ISO 222 crypto that I've been with. I'm sticking with everything I freaking said. I'm just comfortable, and everybody gets to do as they please. We're stabilizing the Middle East. So if you see crazy things going over there, it's not to have a forever wars, to stop forever wars. And that's what we're doing. We have been in a prep phase to lay out the foundation, let's say, for global order. That's what we're doing. We have been getting things ready, putting puzzle pieces together globally. And that's what's going on. If you see National Guard in your area, certain states, they're federalized, in my opinion. There's good things happening behind the scenes. I can see it. I hope you can. There's going to be thousands that are going to be gone because of a purge. Just whoop, where'd they go? It's true. Some doctors, some lawyers, some of every any job you can think of. There are bad people all over the place. And that's not just happening here. That's happening everywhere. I told Juan, I said, it's neat to watch the coalition become international because, Bolsonaro has joined us. The last prime minister of South Korea just joined us. Some other ones are joining right now and hanging out. And it's going to be a reason for wakey time, people seeing what happened to these other countries and, oh, I guess that could have happened to our country. It happened to them. You mean it happened the same way? You mean the same people are doing it? Yes. That's what we're trying to show people. That's what this has been all about. That's why it's taken a long time. The different countries are saying the same things, and they have the evidence of it, and they've had the evidence of it. And if you believe John Solomon, he's bringing it out right now. The purge has started with the generals. The purge has started with the admirals. I believe the purge has started with the Pentagon. It's like I said, like it's a restructuring. We're trying to get rid of a lot of these generals who have been put in place and then placed all over different countries, helping run these other countries along with the cabal. That's how nasty it is. Well, Trump said, those are communists in our armed forces that we are purging, or they follow communists or whatever. They're freaking nasty. Trump said we will never be ruled by communists. Our past administration had moved into communism, passing over freaking socialism. They just said, well, heck with socialism. We're going straight to communism. Now, you're going to hear some things about, let's say, Curt Weldon might be coming out, telling people things that you'll learn his story if you hadn't seen it before. A past senator that 15 years ago had to retire because of some bad things that happened to him, because he was the one that was able to go and talk to anyone and see the nuclear facility in Russia. Has all the information on 9/11, on bin Laden, on all of that stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if you hear Curt Weldon's name and he ends up being a big part of this. He will be at Stormgate. Stormgate is the next summit that we have. Storm Summit. I said Stormgate. I don't even know. Well, with John Solomon bringing that out, you're probably going to see an uplift in the information that comes out. I think we're in a pause. It might be 2 days, it might be 5 days, but right after this, I believe the hammer is going down. I believe they're fixing to go into full freaking loco mode on all these fools. And finally, naysayers will hopefully move into the program and, be like, okay, dang, wow, whoa, this is crazy, But it might end up that doesn't happen. That some people are naysayers, and it is what it is, Now, I don't call a naysayer somebody that asks questions and things, But I personally believe that Donald Trump is working with us, for us. I do know people, firsthand knowledge, that, are talking to him. And I believe more from our coalition are getting to get in and talk to the right people. I know who briefed Trump personally on Crossfire Hurricane, Fast and Furious, election integrity, election executive order, how the national emergency should go. And y'all know them too. We are very involved in every freaking aspect. It's kind of crazy. These things that I've been coming to you. Yeah, I'm going to go right now in just a second, Marcy. Thank you. They're just starting it. But the things that I've been saying, or other people have been saying too, and they come true. And we know who has been telling Trump what's going on the whole time, and Trump already knew it. Trump had it all. He was in the Eisenhower building. He did have Hammer scorecard. He watched it all firsthand. You were right. You were right. I'd love for you to come hang out with us at, see if I can find it here, join.patriotshoot.com. If you do, come see me in Talk Time, and at join.patriotshoot.com. That is where, it's our form of Facebook. Rock it out. Right now, it would be a great time if anybody had any extra loot. Bills are getting tight. Rock and roll. By the way, remember Roots. Remember that Hunter Blend coffee. Come join us. Join.patriotshoot.com. Thanks so much. Have a good evening, and bye.